Okay, welcome back everyone to the BIM Heroes 8-part webinar series on leadership for AEC. I'm Ralph Montague. I'm a director at ArcDox and secretary of the Leadership Council of the BIM Hero DAO. We have two objectives with this series. One is we want to take this opportunity to introduce our community to our newly elected Leadership Council members for the BIM Hero DAO, and then also our vision, mission, and purpose as an organization is to develop the next generation of digital leaders. And so over the 8 weeks, we're exploring different aspects of leadership. And I want to encourage those of you who are listening who want to pursue leadership for your personal life or your career or your project teams or business to take our free 30-hour CPD learning program on leadership development. And that gets you started, but as you'll probably hear throughout our series, leadership is an ongoing journey. Today, we're going to be talking about resilient navigation in leadership. And understanding resilience is obviously very important. It's the ability to adapt and change and move with a dynamic and evolving situation, especially in the face of unknown and uncertain potential, or what we call complexity or chaos. The critical role of resilient navigation within our AEC industry is particularly important in light of the fast-changing technology, regulations, updated project demands. And so we're exploring how to face the unknown courageously and find pathways to change, rather than being overcome by change. The importance is really this continuous movement or adaptability. So those who don't adapt risk being left behind. I think there was a quote often attributed to Darwin. It said that it's not the strongest of the species or the most intelligent that survives, but it's the one that's most adaptable to change. So we have two speakers with us today. We have architect Zaid Hendey, who's based in Germany. He's passionate about digital transformation in the AEC. He advocates for knowledge sharing and community-driven innovation, for BIM and emerging technologies. He's one of our council members. And then we also have Gabriel Martins from Brazil. He's an engineer. He's passionate about building bridges between people, discipline, and possibilities. He's also a member of our BIM Hero DAO Council, and he champions digital transformation, practical leadership, and the power of shared purpose. So welcome to both of you. Zaid, maybe you want to just say hello to everyone and introduce yourself.
At first, I would like to thank you for this amazing introduction, Ralph. That was amazing. Yeah, I'm Zaid Hendey. I'm originally from Syria and lived in Jordan for about 13 years, and I've established my business there. It was like a small company. Its name 8 Dimension. But now I'm living now in Germany. I've been here for 2 years, and I'm seeking here as well the opportunity to find master degree in architecture. So that's all about me.
So lots of change in your life so far.
Gabriel,
Gabriel, do you want to just briefly introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. First, I'd like to thank you for inviting me for this opportunity. It's a pleasure to be here. And as you said before, I'm an engineer from Brazil, and I also had an opportunity to study 1 year in Ireland 10 years ago. And now I'm part of the Leadership Council, also ambassador from Brazil to the BIM Heroes DAO. And I work as BIM Coordinator at Caeros Architects, which has an office in Lisbon and Norway.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I suppose our discussion is about change and resilience to change, like adaptability to change, not being afraid of change, but facing change. I suppose that's the hero stance, is to face uncertainty, unknown, and move ahead. So here, maybe you want to talk a little bit about just your own experience of resilience. You know, what does it mean to you to be a resilient leader?
In fact, that's really interesting topic to talk about, and I think if we don't have the ability to change, we will be done. So I think every person has to have that way of thinking. I must always find the way to win and to be in the right way. I don't have to just give up. So we have to find opportunities to grow, and despite the big problem that we could face, we have to face it as a brave person or a brave as a brave person. So and we have to go on through our life. So for my example, when I started my journey in Syria. So I've started with studying interior designing, but I have a big dream to be one day maybe one of the famous architects on this world. But suddenly we faced the war in Syria, as you know. So what the opportunities that I have, the only opportunity was for me to go to Jordan, or otherwise I have to stay at my country and give up. But I chose to go to the new place, new culture, to study there. I studied there the architecture as bachelor degree, and I worked for about 12 years. 6 years of them was in my company. So that was a really big challenge for me to live in new country, new culture, but I did it. And now as well, because I have the big vision for my future, I choose as well to go to come here to Germany to study more and to go deep in my field. So that's all about this point, and I think it's important thing.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I think when we were talking before, you said I think you used the analogy of if you're in the water, you can't stop moving. You have to keep moving or you start sinking.
That's Gabriel. Gabriel has said that. I've said that as well. When we swim, if we just stop, we will sink.
Yeah.
But if we keep moving, we will not sink at all.
Yeah, true.
For example, I have another example. The Bedouin lifestyle. I think there is a lot of them in Middle East and in China. I think their life is just to move, to find the food and the water. If they don't move to find the food and the water, they will die. So they keep moving, and yeah,
fantastic. When it comes to leading, I mean, you said you had a business in Jordan, and obviously you had a team of people you were working with. How did you? Yeah, because resilience isn't just a tool; it's about people. How did you help your team to be resilient? You know, in daily things. It could be dealing with problems on projects or on site or whatever. How do you deal with that?
As you know, everyone has his life, so he has his maybe problems he faced or things he has to deal with. So I give them the choice. For example, what time they have to work in. So they choose the time they would like to work in. I don't choose the time that they would like to work in. When does that suit them? They work in. Yeah. So when they need help, they can simply ask about help, and I will give them the help. They don't have to be afraid from asking. So, and they have always to find new strategies and new programs to know more about them, so they can move on through. Yeah.
So you're encouraging continuous development.
Of course, we have to encourage. We have to encourage each others. They encourage me. I encourage them.
How's
Sometimes
it, Gabriel? Are you back? Is your audio working?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Fantastic.
Oh, okay, perfect. I apologize for that.
Yeah, no problem.
Well,
so we were trying to come to you and see what resilient leadership means to you, and maybe you could speak to that a bit.
This is a full example, but this is resilience in the middle of a live. You need to be calm and try to fix whatever is going on.
Yeah.
But jokes aside, I think it's like Zaid said, whatever happens, be it a war or personal problems, you need to be focused on your goals. What do you want to achieve, be it professionally or your personal life? You need to be focused on that. And then always moving, trying to, sometimes you need to change your path, because you maybe have thought that doing something would be the correct, the most assertive option to do, but sometimes you need to change your route and keep moving. That's it. And you need to always to try to be calm. I know sometimes it's difficult to be centered in yourself, your values, and whatever you want to achieve.
Yeah, I mean, you said earlier that you spent a year in Ireland.
Yeah.
So you said it was 10 years ago. So you're probably a young man at that point. I mean, that must have been quite a big change. Leaving home, coming to a strange place. I mean, partly exciting, but partly challenging as well, I would imagine.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as you said, it's difficult to leave your parents, your friends, your girlfriend, and moving to a completely different country, a completely different language, and it's very challenging. And by the time I needed to have this focus, I said, to endure this process of being far from home, studying in a different language, because if you're studying engineering in your own language, is very difficult. So you need to study engineering in another language. You're learning. You're far from your friends, everyone, and you need to deal with depression, all that stuff. It's very complicated. But when you have your goal clear in mind, I can't say things become easy, but you can manage to do it.
So your goal is keeping you going, basically.
Yeah.
And it's also quite interesting, because a lot of people might say, why put yourself in a difficult situation? Why not just stay at home, take the easy route. Like, but at the end, I suppose, while you're going through it, it's probably quite tough. But at the end, it was probably worth it. You probably think it was a good thing to do.
Yeah, I think the challenges make you evolve, because if you stay in the same place always, you don't see anything different. And in my personal experience, this 1 year I was in Ireland, was important to understand a bit better how the things could work, to give me some hope of, because before that I wasn't sure what to do in my life, to what would be my goals in future when I was already a professional. So this opportunity to live and to study in Ireland made me create these new goals, new perspectives, a new way to see the world. And that's why I think it's important to not stay in the same place, to try always to look for new experience, new opportunities. I think that's very important to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Zaid, if we go back to you, but when you're going through change, it's probably feels very difficult, and you wonder why am I doing this, or maybe you didn't even have a choice, maybe you were forced into a situation, but then afterwards you learn the lesson, I suppose. And I suppose the question is, would you do it again? I mean, is that a trait of leadership that you keep deciding to do these difficult things and not to take the easy route? I think you're on mute. You're on mute, Zaid.
I always encourage myself by remembering the quote said, if you don't feel like doing something, force yourself to act. Action creates motivation, and motivation leads to passion.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always my first thing, the first thing that comes to my mind. And I always tell myself that no one can build the bridge that you must walk across for yourself. Yeah. So we have to build our bridges.
But a lot of people might say, well, but I don't know the direction, or I don't know the answer before I start.
Yeah, exactly. When you don't know the answer, once there is a wise man has told me, if you don't know the last step you are going to, just focus on the first step, where you put your foot. Yeah, where is your next step? Look at this step, and after that you will see furthermore. So
it reveals itself as your path reveals itself.
It will be like when we walk through the fog, zum Beispiel, for example. That's zum Beispiel, that's in German language. It's sometimes comes to my mind, I don't know why. Yeah. So we go through the fog, and moment by moment we see more and more and more until the fog goes and disappear.
I always think of a bicycle, because you got to start pedaling, and you can always, once you're moving, it's easier to change direction. But when you're just standing still, it's very difficult. You just you have to start, and then even if it's in the wrong direction initially, you can change direction when you're moving. But standing still is very difficult.
Yeah, there is another thing that has come to my mind. What is the greatest danger in times? Is it the danger? For me, I don't think so. It's the danger is not the turbulence. The turbulence itself, it's not the danger, but to act with yesterday's logic. So we have always to refresh ourselves, to be filled with the new ideas, new strategies, to learn each day new thing, so we can reach the goal that we are going to.
Yeah. Speaking about turbulence, when we spoke earlier, Gabriel, you reminded us of the journey of the Portuguese to South America, and it's a journey. I mean, there was a destination, but they probably didn't exactly know the route, and there's lots of forces that maybe you don't see. I mean, obviously there's the wind and the waves, but then you mentioned the sort of currents that you don't even see the currents. They're kind of moving under the sea, and so you're competing with things you can feel and see, like the wind and the waves, but that you also have things that you can't see, like the tide. How do you so in life, how do you grapple with all those forces that are trying to change?
Following this same analogy, for example, you said the currents, the tides, the wind, these are things you can't see, but also if you imagine the Portuguese and the Spanish, they had great tools to navigate. So if you intend to navigate to somewhere, you need to be sure that there will be currents, wind blowing, storms and tides, and etc. But you need to be prepared. You need to have all the tools you need to be successful. Be it, for example, a degree or the CPD courses from BIM Heroes, and all kinds of information or whatever, to be resilient, to be strong, to have the strength necessary to navigate. And so most of the time it's not you get in the sea with all your tools. In life, you imagine you can shop some tools along the way. So you need to be navigating and getting more tools to improve your journey.
Yeah, I like that saying you mentioned, the Brazilian saying about a still water doesn't make a good sailor, or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So you actually need to be the kind of sailor that can navigate the waves and the wind and the tides. And,
you need some turbulence in order to know how to deal with things. So after you had the experience, you're ready to bigger challenges, so to speak.
So the small challenges are like training.
The
big challenges.
Yeah.
The training ground, and I suppose that's quite an important point about leadership. Like, you shouldn't avoid the small challenges. You should actually take them on as a type of training, so to prepare yourself to be able to become a better sailor, basically.
Sure.
Yeah.
And like Zaid said, he wanted to be a great architect. We all here, I think we want to be relevant professionals, be good, be remembered. So we have to have this in mind, that if we want to be big, we are going to have this always improving challenge.
We have to take the small steps to reach
a bigger challenge after time. So this is part of our journey.
You have just bring to my brain a quote from an Irish writer. I think, Ralph, you know it. You know him, I think. His name is Bernard Shaw. You know him. He said, the people who get on in the world are the ones who get up and look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them.
Yeah, so they don't give up.
Yeah, you don't have to give up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Get up,
I don't know if you knew that I was 10 years ago a champion in boxing. And Muhammad Ali says once, when you fall down, don't stay down, just come back to the ring and fight.
Yeah. Yeah, so it seems like the key idea with resilience is, well, accept it. I think that's the first thing, is that life is not going to be a smooth lake. It's going to be a sea with waves and tides and wind and all sorts of things. So you have to accept, and you have to, so that's accepting it and then practicing it. So start off small with little challenges, develop the skills, you know, and I'd say a third thing is not to look for all the answers before you start. So, and I think this is particularly relevant for innovation, when you don't know the answers, but you still have to start. Yeah, if you have to have all the answers before you start, then you'll never start.
Yeah, the journey of seeking the answers teaches us a lot.
Yeah. And in engineering and architecture, but in all things, I suppose you're always looking for the better way, the new way, the innovative way. But the answer isn't there. So there's no point looking for a map. You've got to be like those Portuguese sailors. You've got to get in the boat and just start going, and hopefully you find land on the other side. Because well, particularly for the first sailors, there was no map. They were just a direction and see what's on the other side. The innovators. So yeah, fantastic. Any look, we're getting close to the hour, but in your business, Gabriel, in Brazil, I mean, I'm sure there's lots of challenges in Brazil. I mean, as an economy, and how do you encourage your teammates or your project teams to navigate these challenges?
Well, I think the principle is the same. Whatever it is, be a professional situation or a project, we have a short deadline, or economic problems in Brazil, you need to be prepared. So, for example, someone maybe will be unemployed. What I would say to make contact with people, networking, going to, if possible, to events of the AEC sector, try to learn new tools. For example, BIM is not the future, I could say the future, but it's the present. Learn BIM tools, try to see where is the attention is going, because where the attention is money as well circulating. So if people are talking too much about BIM or AI or something else, anything else, you can be sure that will be money going there. So you need to understand, how can I be part of this? For example, the trend now is AI. Can I learn some AI to architecture and engineering? How is it possible? What courses can I do? Or does it worth it to spend a lot of time investing money on that? So you need to have this sense of perceiving where is the tide is going, as I say.
Yeah.
The current.
Yeah.
So for every
Keep yourself
aspect,
relevant,
I think,
basically.
yeah, you need to find is what is relevant or not in the moment.
Yeah. Keep yourself relevant. And Zaid, just as a closing remark, what for yourself, what is the one thing that's your anchor almost, like what keeps you focused, when difficult things are coming at you, you're having to change country, you're gonna if you've had to go through a lot of things, what's kept you what keeps you going, what keeps your course, what keeps you on course? What's your compass?
I always focus on my long-term goal.
Yes.
So when I focus on my goal, I will go through everything to reach the goal. I will not be interrupted with other things. I will just do it.
Yeah. Fantastic. And what about you, Gabriel? What's your anchor in the sea of turbulence? What keeps you going?
Well, this is, I think, it's the most difficult question, but the easiest is at the same time. Well, I think in the future, what I want to be, what I want to provide to my family, and I think it's the basic compass for every human being to have a comfortable life, to achieve material things as well, but also to give a good condition. I don't have kids yet, but in the future, I hope I'll have. So
Yeah.
this is the most important thing to me.
Keep forward, yeah. And what to other BIM heroes listening to this recording, what's your encouragement to? What's the last word to say? Should everybody be a resilient leader, or is it only for some people?
I think not everyone is going to be a leader, but in some way, everyone has to develop some leadership skills, because it's important. It is important. Be at home or at your work, whatever. Sometimes you need to have these particular skills to succeed. And my message to BIM Hero community would be, I don't know, keep moving. Keep moving, keep improving. Don't stay at the same point that you are.
Yeah, fantastic. And final word from you, Zaid. What's your message to the BIM heroes?
I will start with Gabriel's word. Keep moving forward, even when it's hard. Change is not the enemy; it's a path to growth.
Yeah.
Stay curious, support each other, and believe in your vision.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, thank you both for your time.
Thank you too. Well,
for
it was amazing.
sharing your stories with us. Personally, I think everyone should be a leader. As you said, Gabriel, you should have leadership skills in your life, in your career, in your project teams, etc. So that's what we're trying to do as a community is help everybody develop those skills of leadership. So for next week, on the 5th of June, we're having part 4 of this. The host will be our chair of the BIM Hero Council, Larry Bridgesmith, with Natasha Prinsloo and Zaid. You're going to be joining again next week.
Yeah, that's pleasure.
Participatory leadership. So we look forward to that session. So thank you both for your incredible inputs.
Thank you, Gabriel. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
Everyone for attending. We'll talk to you soon.